This entire city must be purged. Jaina?
What's up guys? Today I decided to make a stories about Warcraft characters, and first one will be about Arthas Menethil, later known as Lich King. Probably many of you know that Arthas was only son of King Arthas Menethil II, King of Lordaeron, which you may not know that he was the best friend with Varian Wrynn, who was later the King of Stormwind. They became really close friends when Varian came to Lordaeron after the destruction of Stormwind during the First War by Orcs. Arthas and Varian often paired together to enhance their combat abilities. As Arthas grew, he started to learn ways of light from Uther Lightbringer and continued his training in combat with Dwarf Ambassador in Lordaeron, Muradin Bronzebeard, who became also his friend. During the time in Lordaeron, young Prince spent a lot of time with Jaina Proudmoore and made strong bond with her. When Arthas finished his training, he was included in the Knights of Silverhand as Paladin during the ceremony in Cathedral of Light. Process was led by Archbishop Alonus Fowl and also included 4 of 5 original Paladins: Atha the Lightbringer, Tyrion Fordring, Saidan the Drohan, and Gavinar the Dire. As the new Paladin, Arthas was presented with the Holy Warhammer called Light's Vengeance. Ceremony was official finish of Arthas' initial training, and he decided to explore more the world of Azeroth. He visited Darnhold Keep to see famous Orc gladiator Troll, then visited Dalaran to spend more time with Jaina. During his visit, Antonidas, headmaster of the Kirin Tor, organized a banquet for Arthas and Keltas, who was prince of Quel'Thalas of the Elves. Keltas also admired Jaina, but she had closer to Arthas, and they started a romantic relationship by kissing during the banquet. Having grown into a strong, confident young man, Arthas came to be considered one of the finest swordsmen in Lordaeron, and was famed for counter-attacking and defeating forest trolls, warbands of Zul'Aman, when they began raiding the settlements along the border of Quel'Thalas. Later on, Arthas invited Jaina to Lordaeron to celebrate the festivals of Noble Garden. During that time, Arthas revealed that he was courting Jaina to the public. Eventually, however, Arthas began to question whether the two were ready to be together. Arthas abruptly ended the relationship, so Jaina could focus on her magical studies in Dalaran, and Arthas could focus on his commitments to Lordaeron. Sometimes later, troubles began to stir in Lordaeron. Orcs broke free of their internment camps, and there was distressing news of plague that had gripped the Northlands. Arthas was sent to help Uther to handle this. And that is the moment when Warcraft 3 Human Campaign begins.
Welcome, Prince Arthas. The men and I are honored by your presence.
Can the formalities, Uther. I'm not king yet. It's good to see you.
You too, lad. I'm pleased that King Terenas sent you to help me.
Father still hopes your patience and experience might rub off on me.
Well, it is a father's right to dream, isn't it?
Look, here's where we stand. Our scouts have confirmed that there is an orc encampment hidden somewhere over the next ridge.
As I suspected.
It gets worse. They're preparing to attack the nearby village of Strawnbrad. As far as we know, the village is completely defenseless.
Campaign begins with defending village of Stranbrad, which is burned by orcs, and villagers are taken as prisoners. During time when Uther meets with Arthas again, it is revealed that villagers will be used as sacrifice by Orc clan Blackrock in attempt to summon demons. Arthas rushed with the army to save his people, but came too late, and all of them are slaughtered. This, together with death of Arthas' horse invisible years before, who had to kill in order to ease his suffering, started slowly break Prince's moral values and faith in light. When orcs are defeated, Arthas sees Arthas' anger and gives him lection about ways of paladin, which basically says that they do not seek revenge on their enemies. Weeks later, a more wild threat arose in the form of plague of undead. Jaina and Captain Falric were sent to help Arthas investigate this strange disease. They fought against the undead at the infested granary, then encountered the necromancer Kel'Thuzad in town of Brill and pursued him to Underhall. Kel'Thuzad had already infected the stored grain in Underhall and shipped it out to outlying villagers. Before Arthas killed him, Kel'Thuzad spoke of Mal'Ganis, a Tersim demon who led the Scourge. According to Kel'Thuzad, Mal'Ganis should be in Stradholm, so Jaina and Arthas traveled north to confront him. Along the way, they stopped at Harglan, where hoped to rest. Instead, they were warned of approaching army of undead. Arthas ordered Jaina to find Uther and seek his aid while he remained behind to defend the town. But before the enemies came, Arthas learned a horrible truth about the undead.
Wait, what did those crates contain?
Just a grain shipment from Andorhal. There's no need to worry, my lord. It's already been distributed amongst the villagers.
Oh no. The plague was never meant to simply kill my people. It was meant to turn them into the undead. Defend yourself!
When it seems that Arthas is not able to hold the city against endless undead army, Jaina Uther and his knights came to turn the battle. When battle is over, company travel to Stradholm, where Arthas revealed terrible truth.
As if I could forget. Listen, Uther. There's something about the plague you should know. Oh no. We're too late. These people have all been infected. They may look fine now, but it's just a matter of time before they turn into the undead.
What?
This entire city must be purged.
How can you even consider that? There's got to be some other way.
Damn it, Uther. As your future king, I order you to purge this city.
You are not my king yet, boy. Nor would I obey that command even if you were.
Then I must consider this an act of treason.
Treason? Have you lost your mind, Arthas?
Have I? Lord Uther, by my right of succession and the sovereignty of my crown, I hereby relieve you of your command and suspend your paladins from service.
Arthas, you can't just...
It's done! Those of you who have the will to save this land, follow me. The rest of you, get out of my sight.
You've just crossed a terrible threshold, Arthas.
Jaina?
I'm sorry, Arthas. I can't watch you do this.
As Arthas began to slay the citizens of Stradholm, he was met by Mal'Ganis himself, who was working to claim their souls. Arthas sought to destroy them before Mal'Ganis could reach them, and eventually demanded the final showdown with their lord. Mal'Ganis slipped away, however, vowing to meet him in Northrend. Arthas then set fire to Stradholm, and those fires burn to this day. You can see this scene even during the Stradholm dungeon in World of Warcraft. You can see the prince, how he's slaying. Arthas followed Mal'Ganis with detachment of his troops. They arrived a month later in Dagaka Bay. As they searched for a proper place to set up camp, Arthas' men came under gunfire before being recognized by the Dvaran Explorers Guild, led by Muradin Bronzebeard, Arthas' old friend.
We're under attack. Take cover!
Bloody hell. You're not undead. You're all alive.
Muradin?
Together, they helped Muradin dwarves to repel undead attack and destroy undead camp. At the camp place, Arthas ordered to prepare their main base. As Muradin and Arthas continued to search for Runeblade Frostmourne, an emissary from Lordaeron arrived in Zeppelin and spoke to Captain that Uther and King Terenas, instructing Arthas and his men to return home. When Arthas returned to his base, the men had abandoned their post and were making their way through the forest towards their ships. Arthas had no intention of leaving before Mal'Ganis was destroyed. With the help of some indigenous mercenaries, he managed to reach and burn his ships before his men got to them. When his men arrived, Arthas betrayed the mercenaries by accusing them of destroying the ships.
Prince Arthas? Quickly, my warriors! These murderous creatures have burned our ships and robbed you of your way home. Slay them all in the name of Lordaeron.
Damn. beasts!
Kill them all!
During search for Frostmourne, Arthas and his troops continued to press on Draktaron Keep. As he arrived, Mal'Ganis appeared to him and foretold his death. Arthas went to search Frostmourne with Muradin, leaving his captain to defend the camp. Using an ancient waygate, Arthas, Muradin, and a small group of men traveled to the vicinity of the fabled Runblade. Arthas was soon confronted by the Guardian, who tried to keep him from Frostmourne. When company reached Frostmourne, Muradin read an inscription, reported that the blade was cursed. He pleaded with Arthas to forget his desire for vengeance and lead his men home, but Arthas was adamant. Arthas asked the spirits of the cavern for the sword to be released from its prison, proclaiming that he would give anything or pay any price.
Halt, lad. There's an inscription on the dais. It's a warning. It says, "Whomsoever takes up this blade shall wield power eternal. Just as the blade rends flesh, so must power scar the spirit." Oh, I should have known. The blade is cursed. Let's get the hell out of here.
I would gladly bear any curse to save my homeland.
Leave it be, Arthas. Forget this business and lead your men home.
Damn the men! Nothing shall prevent me from having my revenge, old friend. Not even you. Now, I call out to the spirits of this place. I will give anything or pay any price, if only you will help me save my people.
When Muradin was apparently dead, but that is a topic for another video about Muradin, Arthas continued in his vengeance against Mal'Ganis. With power of Frostmourne, he was able to defeat demon forces and kill Mal'Ganis, which should bring him peace, but instead he completely lost his sanity. But about that, I will continue next video.
You waste your breath, Mal'Ganis. I heed only the voice of Frostmourne now.
You hear the voice of the Dark Lord. He whispers to you through the blade you wield. What does he say, young human? What does the Dark Lord of the Dead tell you now?
He tells me that the time for my vengeance has come.
What? He can't possibly mean to...
It is finished.
What is this? What are you doing, my son?
Succeeding you, father.
What's up, guys? Let's continue with the story of Arthas Menethil. After he killed Mal'Ganis, Prince wandered through the lands of Northrend with Lich King's blade Frostmourne, which twisted his previous beliefs and made him insane. Arthas became the first of Lich King's Death Knights, and he was given the suit of Sauronite armor. When he returned to camp, he killed many of his own soldiers, among them Commanders Falaric, Marvin, and Tassarian, who was raised as Arthas' Death Knights. Months later, Arthas returned to Lordaeron. Kingdom rejoiced, a return of its champion. Flanked by Falaric and Marvin, Arthas entered the Imperial Chamber. During this started the scene, which we saw at the start, when Arthas knelt before the throne and killed his own father. Arthas remembered the words of his old friend Varian, describing his own father and King Lion Varyn being stabbed in the heart. He continued to follow Lich King's voice in Frostmourne in order to destroy the whole kingdom of Lordaeron. Next step in his plan was to unleash the Scourge upon the capital city, and then go to Balnir Varmstead, where he used his necromantic powers to raise his faithful steed invincible. Few days later, Arthas appeared in Vardamar village. There he met Ticondirus the Darkener, a dead lord like Mal'Ganis. Thinking that Deadwall was Mal'Ganis out of revenge, Arthas immediately threatened him, only to discover that this Dreadlord had come to congratulate Arthas for his efforts. And he sent Arthas to a new mission, assembled the members of Cult of them that were hiding in Vardemar, and was aided by the magical abilities as he traveled through Underhall, where he was to recover Kel'Thuzad's corpse. Kel'Thuzad's remains were badly decomposed and needed to be taken to the mystical Sunwell in Kotalas to be revived. Tichondrius sent Arthas to recover a mystical urn which could be used to transport Kel'Thuzad's remains. However, the urn was in keeping of the Knights of Silver Hands. Arthas killed two paladins, Balador the Bright and Sage the Truthbearer, who both condemned Arthas' betrayal. He then faced Atta the Lightbringer, who explained that the urn held the ashes of his father King Ternas. The two engaged in a duel, with Atta initially having the upper hand, knocking Arthas down and sending Frostmourne flying from his hands. As Arthas awaited the killing blow, the sword seemed to find his own way into his hands and was granted more power by the Lich King. The battle turned, and Arthas defeated Atta.
The urn holds your father's ashes, Arthas. What? Were you hoping to piss on them one last time before you left his kingdom to rot?
I didn't know what it held. Nor does it matter. I'll take what I came for one way or another.
I dearly hope that there's a special place in hell waiting for you, Arthas.
We may never know, Uther. I intend to live forever.
Arthas replaced remnants of his father, Kel'Thuzad, and began the long journey to Kotalas when he met Ranger General Sylvanas Windrunner. Sylvanas rallied strong resistance against Arthas' forces and tried to warn Silvermoon, but she was unsuccessful and killed by Arthas in the process.
I salute your bravery, Elf, but the chase is over.
Then I'll make my stand here, Butcher. Anara la Belore. Finish it. I deserve a clean death.
After all you've put me through, woman, the last thing I'll give you is the peace of death.
No, you wouldn't dare.
When Arthas changed Sylvanas to Banshee, he continued the attack on Silvermoon, killed Elf King Anastarian, Sunstrider, and take Sunwell, Elf source of magic. With power of Sunwell, he was able to revive Kel'Thuzad. Undead Scourge continued their journey to Alterac Mountain, destroy all Blackrock clan, which controlled Demon Gate, for communication with Demon Lord Archimonde. Archimonde instructed Kel'Thuzad to get Book of Menethil, which is powerful enough to summon him to Azeroth. If you guys played the Path of the Undead during the campaign in Warcraft 3 for the Undead, you may remember this story, which I am telling you right now, and you may know that Arthas and his troops attacked the Dalaran and destroyed the defenses. Then Arthas continued to kill Archmage Antonidas and get Book of Menethil for summoning demons, and Kel'Thuzad used Book to summon Archimonde, who take control over the Scourge from Lich King and give it to Tichondrius and his Dreadlords. Arthas left to wonder what would become of him and Kel'Thuzad, but the Lich King replied that all was going as Lich King foresaw. You remember this as the end of the Path of Them campaign, in which Arthas is pretty disappointed with the plan, and so if you want to go through the story by yourself, you can play Warcraft 3 Path of Them, and without some additional facts that I tell you during this story, everything is basically the same. When Azeroth is destroyed, Legion attack land of Kalimdor, where Arthas starts slowly undermining Legion's plan in attempt to help enemies destroy the Legion and take over the Scourge. He finds a way to kill Tichondrius when he sees Night of Illidan and his lust for power.
We could go on fighting like this forever. What is it you truly want?
The Dreadlord who commands this undead army is called Tichondrius. He controls a powerful warlock artifact called the Skull of Gul'dan. It is responsible for corrupting these forests.
And you wish for me to steal it? Why?
Let's just say that I have no love for Tichondrius. And the lord I serve would benefit from the Legion's downfall.
Illidan, with School of Gul'dan power, killed the Condrius and allowed Arthas to get bigger influence in Scorn. This resulted in fall of Legion invasion and Arthas returning to Lordaeron. Guys, here starts the data disk for Undead, which will continue the story. Few months later, Arthas returned to claim his throne and defeat trio of Dreadlords who was left to command the Scourge. Anyway, Arthas isn't aware that Lich King's power is waning and he is ambushed in capital city and was forced to collect what last he could find and find his way through the Dreadlord's forces, which included the powerful abomination Bloodfist. Later, he is rescued by Sylvanas, but she is prepared to betray him and shoot the poison arrow to him. But later he is saved by Kel'Thuzad, who stepped in and drove Sylvanas off.
What is happening here?
Sylvanas.
You walked right into this one, Arthas. It's time to even the scales.
Traitor! What have you done to me?
It's a special poisoned arrow I made just for you. The paralysis you're experiencing now is but a fraction of the agony you've caused me.
Finish me, then.
A quick death? Like the one you gave me? No. You're going to suffer as I did. Thanks to my arrow, you can't even run. Give my regards to Hell, you son of a bitch.
Back, you mindless ones! You shall not fall today, my king.
3 weeks later, Arthas landed upon familiar coast of Northrend and unexpectedly found himself being attacked by Blood Elves, led by Kel'Thas. Hungry for vengeance at their kingdom's destruction, Arthas was unexpectedly saved by a large clear-ribbed lord who introduced himself as Anub-Arak, the former king of Azil-Nerub. Kel'Thas warned that though a preliminary scouting force may have fallen, their main army would not be so easily defeated before teleporting away to safety. Arthas worried that he may be right and that they would never reach Icecrown Citadel before Illidan, but Anub-Arak thought differently. He suggested that they deliver to the scattered kingdom of Azil-Nerub, using the underground passageways to beat Illidan to the glacier. Seeing little other choice, Arthas agreed. During the journey, Arthas encountered Big Dragon Saphiron, who he killed and then resurrected as his new Frostwyrm. When they came to Kingdom of Azil-Nerub, they were attacked by Belgun Flambeard, new leader of dwarves after Muradin's death. Belgun wanted to avenge Muradin's death and stood against Arthas, but was slain with Frostmourne. Arthas continued his journey to Lower Kingdom, where he encountered Faceless One, a powerful vicious race who only exists in legend. He cut the way through them, even defeat powerful Forgotten One. As they climbed out of Azil-Nerub, the Lich King contacted Arthas once again, and explained that he was losing his power because the frozen throat had been cracked and the energy was seeping from it. Ner'zhul replenished Arthas' power, knowing he would need them in the coming battle. When they finally reached the surface, they immediately had to contend with Illidan's forces, Nagas and Kel'Thas Bodos were there to contest Arthas' minions at every turn. Arthas, with Anub-Arak help, battled his way through their forces and magically activated the 4 ice-crown obelisks around the glacier, opening the doors to the frozen throne. However, Illidan was waiting for him. As you can see from the cinematic, Arthas merged with the Lich King and became the one being. And this is probably everything for the story of Arthas Menethil, and I will continue his story through the story of Lich King. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and we will see for another one. Thank you for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like if you want. Bye!